नमस्कार। जी बिजनेस की खास पेशकश एमएसएमई नेशन बिल्डर सीरीज में आपका स्वागत है। इस स्पेशल सीरीज में हम इंडस्ट्री लीडर्स के साथ मिलकर कई प्रमुख सेक्टर्स का जायजा ले रहे हैं। साथ ही चैलेंजिंग दौर में ग्रोथ के अवसरों को तलाशने पर फोकस कर रहे हैं। ऑटो कंपोनेंट्स, लेदर फुटवेयर इंडस्ट्री, हैंडीक्राफ्ट सेक्टर पर मंथन करने के बाद आज हम चर्चा करने वाले हैं एक ऐसे क्षेत्र पर which is one of the oldest industries in the Indian economy। जी हां, आज बात होगी टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर की, जो कि एक लेबर इंटेंसिव क्षेत्र है और इसमें बड़े पैमाने पर महिलाएं वर्कफोर्स में शामिल हैं। एमएसएमई नेशन बिल्डर सीरीज में आज हमें ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं डॉक्टर ए शक्तिवेल, प्रेसिडेंट फियो, चेयरमैन एईपीसी, वी अलन गोविंद, मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर एसएनक्यूएस इंटरनेशनल ग्रुप, और अजीत लाकड़ा, प्रेसिडेंट लुधियाना निटर्स एसोसिएशन एंड हेड टेक्सटाइल डिवीजन फीको। आप सभी का शुक्रिया, थैंक यू। बट बिफोर वी मूव अहेड, thanking our partners for the series, presenting sponsor Amazon, crypto exchange partner BitBNS, domain partner GoDaddy, laptop partner Dell, driving partner Skoda, co-powered by FarmEasy, special partner Teamology. Thanks to all of you. आइए फिलहाल आगे बढ़ते हैं। Dr. Shaktivel, recently the government has approved the extension of rebate of state and central taxes and levies scheme for textile exporters. The scheme will cover apparel, garments and made up till 31st March 2024. Do you think this will help in boosting sentiments and maybe this will help in long-term contracts? What is your view, sir?
Definitely, this will help us a lot because what we are requesting so far that we need a long-term policy, especially for competing with our neighboring countries. Now, the announcement of RSTCL from January 2021 to 24, so it will give us a lot of comfort to give the prices. As we always, you are aware that we book orders sometimes 9 months in advance. So the costing is always difficult without knowing how much tax rebate we are going to get it. So for 3 years, it's a really welcome decision by the government. And moreover, now we have to compete with the neighboring countries and the Cambodia and Vietnam, where they enjoy the duty-free status because of the LDN, least developed nation. And the buyers, straight away, they get 10% duty-free when they import from these countries. So to match the prices, we have to give to them. So we always tell the government we cannot export taxes, at least give the refund of the taxes what we have paid. So the government has done this, and it's a really, really great help to our industry.
Okay. Dr. Shaktivel, as you rightly said, India's apparel exports, if you see, they have been losing market share to competitors like from Bangladesh, Vietnam, Cambodia, as you mentioned. We have been facing extremely stiff competition. So, as you mentioned, like this rebate of state and central taxes and levies, this will help in checking this decline, this declining trend. How are you seeing this working on the ground, sir? Can you share some insights as well, sir?
Whether to make yarn or whether to go to ginning factory for cotton, then to spinning mill, then to our apparel factories, then to processing, everything, it's diesel is involved or petrol fuel is involved. So we pay taxes for the fuels from the cotton to the finishing, sending the goods to the port. So these are hidden taxes which we are paying, and even in manufacturing also, because if you see most of the states, they don't have a proper electricity around the clock. So we have to use the diesel. So everywhere we use the diesel, and now the fuel prices have gone so much. So this will definitely help us out to compete with the countries. Not only that, as I said, Bangladesh, if you see our 10 years back, Bangladesh export was 5 billion. Now their export, you don't believe it, is 40 billion. And whereas still we are in the 15, 16 for last 5 years stagnated. And Vietnam, it has overshoot us. It is 27 billion now. It started with about 5 years back, 3 billion, now it is 27 billion. So there's a lot of competition. So definitely this will help us in the ground level, and we can able to at least give prices against them and get the orders.
डॉक्टर साहब, आप बता सके, आप भी इसका वेलकम करते हैं जो एक्सटेंशन किया गया है रिबेट ऑफ स्टेट एंड सेंट्रल टैक्सेस एंड लेवाई स्कीम का, और आप ये बता सके इसके एमएसएमईज के लिए क्या मायने होंगे?
एनी पॉलिसी, जो भी पॉलिसीज बनती हैं, अगर एक्सपोर्ट के लिए या चाहे डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्री के लिए हो, अगर ये लॉन्ग टर्म नहीं चलेगी तो आप कंपटीशन में स्टैंड नहीं कर सकते। तो ये जो अभी उन्होंने हमें राहत दी है, ये बहुत ही अच्छी है, इसे वेलकम, सारी इंडस्ट्री ने वेलकम किया है। सो एज फार एज एमएसएमई इज कंसर्न, इफ यू लुक एट दी बिग एक्सपोर्टर्स, तो उनकी जो फैब्रिकेशन होती है वो एमएसएमई यूनिट्स ही करते हैं। तो वो अगर डायरेक्ट एक्सपोर्ट भी कर रहे हैं या इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपोर्ट भी कर रहे हैं तो बेनिफिट्स तो मिलते हैं। तो मैं पर्सनली और इंडस्ट्री की तरफ से इसको वेलकम करता हूं, और एंड दिस शुड कंटिन्यू टिल आवर इंडस्ट्री स्टेबलाइजेस पोस्ट दिस पेंडेमिक ऑफ कोरोना, क्योंकि इसमें बहुत से ज़्यादा नुकसान हुए हैं। तो उसको पूरा करने के लिए एक लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान होना चाहिए। ये बहुत ही अच्छा प्लान है गवर्नमेंट का।
Sir, if you can just tell us, the textile sector overall has faced a lot of challenges during this pandemic. But it seems that post the first wave of COVID, orders from the Western countries started flowing in. Can you share details and the trends basically?
Lasted for about 2-3 months. The first wave was different from the second wave. In the first wave, both the markets and the manufacturing centers were closed. So we didn't find much pressure from the competing manufacturing countries or from the market. But in the second wave, we are facing a huge problem because the markets were open. Europe and US were open, and we went under lockdown. And whereas our competing countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, and Cambodia also were open. So we lost many orders in that process, which has gone to the neighboring countries. And this was a time when the buyers start placing orders for Christmas, special orders for Christmas deliveries. And these orders have gone to neighboring countries like Turkey, which are very close to Europe, and also to other countries which were open at that point of time, because it's a time-bound sale. It has a fashion is something which has a shelf life. It has to reach the destination in a particular time. So the lockdowns does not help. So after the first wave, yes, of course, it is like a pipe which is closed. When it is open, you get a lot of the water comes with a gush. It was a similar situation that after the lockdown, the retailers are placing more orders, but it continued well, and we were sort of stabilizing, and then we were hit by the second wave. And during the second wave also, we are facing a lot of challenges. One is the orders are the inflow of the orders are low, and second, the increase in cost of raw materials. If you look at the price of cotton in the last 6 to 7 months, it has gone up to 40 to 50%. Yeah. And it is more, I think the government can control this, by their policies. Definitely, because most of our cotton is exported to Bangladesh, where the downstream industries are benefiting. Whereas at the cost of the Indian apparel manufacturing industry. So what we are requesting the government is to dent the policies so that it will help the domestic industries. I'm sure that if you look at the press in the North India for the last few days, and also the press all over India, there's been hue and cry asking the government to stop the export of raw materials, that is export of cotton as well as yarn. This will go a great way, because already the industry is hurt by the pandemic, and the cost of cotton is a double whammy to them.
फिलहाल सिचुएशन कैसी है ग्राउंड पर? आपको किस तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही हैं उस फ्रंट पर?
Definitely, because he just explained about the effect of COVID-1 and then COVID-2. When the industry was going to grow back again, going to stabilize, so yarn prices in India started increasing, cotton and cotton-rich blended yarns, it has in the last for 6-7 months, it has increased by 40 to 60%. So if the raw material price is high, naturally your product will be comparatively expensive. So in the competition, you cannot survive. Like, Bangladesh and China is importing raw cotton and yarn from India. And it is not that in India it is expensive, it becomes not available also, because the availability of certain yarn has become difficult. So we are requesting the government that instead of exporting raw cotton and raw yarn, it is better to give it to your domestic industry for domestic consumption as well as for exports. Will be more competitive and you will be exporting value added products. Why only raw cotton and raw yarn? So government has to think about it. Otherwise, like Mr. Shaktivel just said that Bangladesh export has gone up to 40 billion and we are even below 20 billion. Why? Such a big country having rich cotton, having a lot of cotton production, why can't we? There is a time to think about all factors why Bangladesh is ahead of us.
How can small businesses be supported on the raw material front, and your views on export of value-added products, sir?
See, whether small or big, when the raw material prices increase, it's very difficult for us to compete with the international market. Yes, Mr. Aditya said, see, we should not encourage this raw material export of any product to outside, because when there is a big demand inside India, why you have to export raw material? The other thing, once you export the raw material, the other countries become a competitor for you, because when you are exporting cotton or yarn, definitely they get little cheaper than the domestic price. So they become a competitor to you. So for this, last week I had a very detailed discussion with the Honorable Minister of Commerce and the Textiles. We suggested that whatever some people have export obligation. So I told them when you export raw material like cotton or steel or raw iron or whatever it is, you give them a benefit of export obligation, because people take ECGC license, they import the machinery and other thing. So they can use this by supplying to the apparel exporter or steel exporters, they can give the raw material and they should be treated at par with the export, so that the export obligation will not be there. Not only that, when the prices are going up, our main supplier of cotton is the CCI, Cotton Corporation of India. So our request to the government, please tell them that 60% of the cotton should be sold to only to the actual users. What happens? They sell to the multinational companies, and the multinational companies with a very lesser interest rate, they buy a huge stock and keep it. They create a demand also, artificial demand. So once that the CCI take a step, that 60% of the cotton will be sold to only actual users, especially for MSME mills. So that will help us out to stabilize the price.
Mr. N. Goban, there have been challenges. As you mentioned, raw material was one aspect which you touched. What about the challenges on the liquidity front, especially for the MSMEs? How do you analyze the situation presently, the working capital issues, and on that front of the cash flow?
After the COVID first phase, COVID-1, the government announced really a very good scheme of allowing the exporters to take 20% of their total exposure as ad hoc limit. This helped a lot of MSMEs, and the definition of the MSME is also changed by increasing the value of the value for MSME. Earlier it was for a very small 100 crores or something. Now it is increased to 300 crores. MSMEs can be described to the extent of 300 crores. That was very helpful. A lot of industries benefited out of it. But
Okay.
after the COVID second phase, right, the only announcement that was good news to the industry was a ROSTL disbursements, which is still not yet to happen. But that was a good announcement. After that, because of the raw material challenges, the factories are really facing liquidity crisis really at this moment.
Okay.
Because the credit terms from the spinners or from the fabric manufacturers have changed to cash and carry terms. So this has put the MSMEs into a lot of difficulties. So I think the government should come out with more, especially the RBI and the Finance Ministry should announce more packages, more focus towards MSMEs.
लाकड़ा साहब, ग्लोबली ट्रेंड्स को आप किस तरह से कैप्चर कर रहे हैं? देयर आर सम रीजन्स व्हिच आर शोइंग सम रिकवरी. इन ऑर्डर टू टैप अपॉर्चुनिटीज ऑन द रीजन्स, हाउ एसएमई शुड मूव अहेड?
देखिए, ऐसा है कि ग्लोबल ट्रेंड फॉर इंडिया कुछ चीज़ बेटर नहीं है. मैं बताता हूँ कि कई जो एग्रीमेंट्स हैं, जैसे यूरोपियन कंट्री से बांग्लादेश के एग्रीमेंट है, वो हमारे नहीं हैं, तो उनको उस पर ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर में बेनिफिट मिलता है, हमें नहीं मिलता है. तो देयर इज अ नीड टू गेट इनटू दोज काइंड ऑफ एग्रीमेंट्स फॉर इंडियन एक्सपोर्टर्स एंड इंडियन प्रोडक्ट्स फॉर दोज कंट्रीज वेयर बांग्लादेश इज टेकिंग बेनिफिट. अब सेकंड चीज़ मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि जब एक्सपोर्ट हो रही है तो जो एक्सपोर्ट के मटेरियल्स हैं किस में जाते हैं? कंटेनर्स में जाते हैं.
शॉर्टेज ऑफ कंटेनर्स.
कंटेनर्स की कॉस्ट अगर आप एनालाइज करेंगे तो सब्सटेंशियली इंक्रीज हुई है. तो हम तो इसको बोलते हैं कि 3S में प्राइसेस इनकी. 3S मीन्स स्पिनिंग मीन यार्न्स, S मीन्स अनदर स्टील, एंड S मीन्स शिपिंग. शिपिंग हैज बिकम वेरी वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. जो एक कंटेनर मान लो आपको $1,000 का मिलता था, वो आज $3,000 $4,000 की कॉस्ट आ रही है. क्यों हो रहा है ये हमें अभी तक नहीं पता लगा. कि कॉस्ट ऑफ शिपिंग हैज बिकम सो एक्सपेंसिव, एंड जो ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर का हमें कई कंट्री से जो बेनिफिट नहीं मिल रहा वो मिलना चाहिए.
ओके सर.
जी सर.
हाँ.
तो ये जो बेनिफिट बांग्लादेश को मिल ही रहा, यू नो अबाउट दैट, देयर आर मेनी कंट्रीज हु हैव गिवन बेनिफिट ऑफ स्पेशल स्टेटस टू बांग्लादेश व्हिच इज नॉट बीइंग एंजॉयड बाय इंडिया. तो अगर वो चीज़ें हो जाएंगी कि इंडिया में लेबर है, इंडिया में रॉ मटेरियल है, इंडिया में जो पॉलिसीज में कोई डेफिशिएंसीज हैं, गवर्नमेंट कैन इम्प्रूव दैट ऑल्सो. डिपेंड्स ऑन द एसोसिएशंस रिप्रेजेंटिंग टू द गवर्नमेंट के ये हमारी हिकअप्स हैं, इनको ठीक करिए. तो डेफिनेटली जो ग्लोबल ट्रेंड है उसको कैचअप हम कर सकते हैं. बट ओवरऑल स्पीकिंग अभी एक्सपोर्ट का बहुत बढ़िया माहौल अभी नहीं बना है फॉर सो मेनी रीजंस. अभी डिमांड भी पूरी नहीं निकली जितनी निकलनी चाहिए, और ग्रेजुअली इट इज इंक्रीजिंग. सो डेफिनेटली ऑल इंडस्ट्रीज आर ट्राइंग टू कैच अप.
We would like to take your views on basically with focus on the PLI scheme. Talks of this mega investment textile parks. These seems to be steps in the right direction. But what are your views on the FTAs also, sir? On the FTAs as well, amid this intensifying competition, sir? If you can show the larger picture, sir.
When I took over as chairman of APC, I saw that there is a stagnation of export of 15-16 billion for last 4-5 years. So we went into the research. We find that all exporting countries, they were exporting 80% MMF garments and only 20% cotton garments. Whereas India was exporting 80% cotton garments, 20% MMF garments. In the same way, we have taken the importing countries also. All the HS codes imported by them, 80% are MMF garments and only 20%. And also, MMF garments is a round-the-year business. In the sense, sportswear, swimwear, all other loungewear, everything is made out of MMF. It's a round-the-year business. So we went to the government and submitted the request that some way or other we should be encouraged for increasing the MMF garments. The government has thought about it. This allows this PLI scheme. Here, what happens is we have plenty of raw material. In the sense, we have a polyester fiber or a viscose fiber. We have plenty. Yarn also we have plenty, but we don't have a proper fabric. So now in APC, we have started the exercise of finding out the fabric technology to do it in India itself. So we are working on this. So in the meantime, the PLI scheme also announced. Now with this PLI scheme, definitely we can attract investors from outside, and also we can have a technical collaboration from outside and joint venture from outside. Now, they have announced PLI scheme in two ways. One is production link scheme for the MMF garments, then green projects, where the investors are allowed, and even you can get investment to the tune of 100%. Other than that, as you said, that mega textile park, they are announced 7 park all over India. That is the idea of the government is plug and play. So they are requested the state government to allot the land, and the government of India is going to allot the money, and also maybe state government also can participate on that. So the MMF manufacturing will have a facilities plug and play. They want to create a vertical setup in that mega park. You will have a raw material, you have a processing houses, you have manufacturing. So everything together, and also processing when you need this effluent plant and all, it will be established in the mega textile park itself. So the government is really well thought of about this promotion of MMF garment.
So what about your views on the FTA, sir?
FTA is a long-term demand from our apparel industry. Now we find that there is a positive trend, especially from UK. The people are shown interest, and UK government or UK Prime Minister also interested in having a FTA with India. So we told government, we may not be able to do 100%, do first phase, second phase, third phase. First phase itself, you take apparel and textile, and please try to get the FTA. And also, our Honorable Prime Minister visited Australia and Canada. He was talking about CEPA with both the countries, that particular comprehensive economic agreement. So there also, if they do it, we will get that advantage. We can export to Canada as well as Australia, because the duties are high in Canada as well as Australia. So these are the things that this is from government side. They should immediately concentrate, and if they bring it, it's nothing like it. And also we said, now we have a good relations with the USA. They think about FTA with the USA also. If not for everything, they can think about the category of apparel and textiles.
Okay, sir. We will come back to you. Mr. Lin Govind, COVID has led to change in the consumer behavior as well. What would you like to share on that front? How have you adjusted to this? And do you expect this new trend to continue even post-pandemic?
Yes, there was a huge change in the consumer behavior post COVID-1 as well as post. It is continuing till now. What has happened is that there was a trend of work from home after the COVID-1. So there was a decrease in demand for formal wear, and there was a huge demand for casual wear and what the Westerners call it home wear, lounge wear, or whatever they are going to wear at home. And this has been a trend both in the domestic industry as well as in the export markets. So that is one startling feature we found. After the COVID situation is that the demand to casual wear increased than the demand for formal wear. So especially the business shirts, jackets, and things like that. So there was a slowdown in those exports as well as retail sales in the Western countries also, as soon as it opened after sales. So there was a huge demand for things like pajamas, underwear, everything. So that is one startling feature of the consumer behavior change after COVID.
Can you share your insights basically on the workforce front in Ludhiana? Workforce पर हमने देखा है काफी पीछे माइग्रेशन के भी इश्यूज रहे थे. अभी सिचुएशन कैसी और वैसे भी चैलेंजेस काफी रहते हैं, तो उस फ्रंट पर आप ग्राउंड सिचुएशन लुधियाना में बता सकें?
देखिए, ट्रेडिशनली लुधियाना हैज ऑलवेज बीन डिपेंडेंट ऑन माइग्रेटरी लेबर। जो पंजाब की हमारी ओरिजिनल यहाँ के यंगस्टर्स हैं, लेबर हैं, दे हैड बीन माइग्रेटिंग टू कनाडा, यूके एंड अदर प्लेसेस, यूएई एंड ऑल दैट. So they are either into farming or going abroad. They are not interested in the industry. So we have always been depending upon the workforce from UP and Bihar and some Odisha and West Bengal. Now you have seen that the industrialization in all those kind of states has started increasing. Even the chief minister of UP, they invited, the entrepreneurs from Ludhiana to come and set up the industry, and they are giving a lot of benefits also. And some, government hiccups in Punjab, that is also preventing the expansion and the setting up of new industry. But as far as the workforce is involved, we are definitely always short of skilled labor. And there are no good training centers here, although schemes came in, but they have not really, given any benefit till now. So if we talk precisely, there is a shortage of labor always, and
Okay.
especially in the harvesting season or sowing season, this labor also moves out. They're going for 1 month, maybe they don't return for 2 months, 1.5 months, or sometimes 3 months. So this industry is suffering. We need to have our own labor, which is probably is not likely, and the migratory labor will always be remaining like this. And I think in the times to come, if the UP government is inviting entrepreneurs and they're setting up a lot of mega industrial parks and giving a lot of benefits, so we will face more serious problem in the time to come.
Textile is a labor intensive sector and it includes a large number of women in the workforce. As Mr. Lakra is mentioning about some challenges on the workforce front, for these newer skills also now, for having Industry 4.0, digital skills, and getting ready, and also as to ensure the demand is also met by as per the industry. What kind of support is required? What would you like to say on that front? Because that is extremely crucial, sir.
The government has realized that they have created a separate ministry for skill development, Ministry of Skill Development, and through that they have developing a skill in all sectors, especially apparel sector. I was getting that earlier, Sector Skill Council for Apparel BEDEPs. So there we have trained already nearly 1 million people from different parts of India, and wherever we have a matchmaking site also, we were sending people from wherever it's requirement. But still, we have to do a lot on that, and especially we required a lot of ladies on this. So the government, because of the corona crisis, all the schemes are kept abeyance for some time. The government should immediately start the scheme and try to help the Sector Skill Council to develop this skill, and also to create skilled workers for our apparel industry. As per as on today, we employ about 13 million people only in apparel sector. The whole textile sector, maybe 30 million people. I'm talking about only exports. So there is a huge opportunity for us to get more people into this our field, and the government should look into it. And also in AIPC, we have an apparel training and designing center, ATDC. There also we are taking people for training and placing them for the apparel exporters.
Dr. Shaktivel, what would you like to say on the remission of duties and taxes on export products, the RoDTEP, since the garments and the made-up sectors which you were mentioning will no longer get these benefits? So what are your views on the rates, the RoDTEP rates as such? And do you also expect an increase in allocation as well?
See, RoDTEP, still the government has not announced the rates, because RoSTEL was announced about 2-3 years back, 2019 itself. So it was easy for the government to carry on this RoSTCL rate. Roadmap, Mr. Pillai Committee has submitted the report, and government is on the job. So anytime it may be released. That's what I expect. Some people say that there will be some deduction on the roadmap rate, but still we are not sure about what is the deduction and how much government is going to do that. Unless otherwise the rates are announced, we can't comment on it. But roadmap also very important like ROSTCL, because all sector needs this, it's not a support, it's a refund of again duties and levies. So an exporter, we cannot export levies and duties. The buyer cannot buy a product with the levies and duties. So the government should, when they're going to allow this roadmap, they should think what is the best rate is submitted by the Mr. Pillai. They should allow the rate. So they reduce the rate from Pillai committee, that will really will affect us, because still for last 6 months we have not got the rate. So we are not able to even give the costing law. So through this, I request the government that road tax rate should be same, which Mr. Pillai committee has submitted.
Mr. Alan Govan, how do you see the role of technology? Since technology, in general, if we say, is playing an extremely key role, and it seems as we move forward, technology will even have a greater role. So how should the small businesses plan their journey on this front, sir?
We felt the one big handicap is ban on travel. So in fact, we run a big office where at least every 2 weeks somebody is there in Europe to liaise with the buyers. So that was totally cut off, and all we had to do was go through technology. All the meetings with the international buyers have gone virtual, and in fact, AEPC has taken a big step to conduct even fairs virtually. And so technology is playing a great role, thanks to all these new platforms. Like, I think nobody would have heard of Zoom 2 years back. Today, Zoom is a household name. Similarly, a lot of the MSMEs have adapted to these technologies at a quicker pace, especially our state, where we have a large population of software educated people, and we adapted to this technology very fast. And MSMEs have to go for these kind of technologies. And also, earlier we used to keep sending the samples to the buyers for fitting sessions, approval sessions, and all those things. Now everything is being done virtually, and there are platforms available where we can communicate with the buyers about the fitting, and buyers are using similar types of platforms, and a lot of time is saved by sending the samples through courier and waiting for the buyers to give a comment. We can have it really, real-time comments from the buyers using these platforms.
Instead of physical format, these are being conducted virtually now. So what have been the learnings, and in fact, what has been the response?
Immediately this corona crisis started, in AEPC, we've developed a virtual platform that is 24/7, 365 days with the 3D facilities. And we can even run a fashion show. We can have an auditorium for any speech and everything. That's a full-fledged platform we have created under His Excellency Mr. Venkaiah Naidu has inaugurated the platform. So this is very useful now, because the buyers, not only the existing buyers, the new buyers also started clicking on this new virtual platform. So they are able to see the product. And another advantage is when you go physically, you take particular sample, and the season of the sample we show it. But here, the exporters can upload every day basis. What are the new product they produce, immediately they can upload this. So we have done this. Now, as the FIO president, I have also told FIO to create its virtual platform 24/7, 365 days, especially for the MSME sector, where they need hand-holding. And here also I started the exercise of taking the HS code from exporting countries. What is the maximum they are exporting from their countries and what is the maximum they are importing from the, like Europe, USA, and Australia, Canada, the imported countries. So once we identify that, so we will try to develop those products, or we will advise the respective field to develop this product, and we will showcase it with our virtual platform. That IGF fair, everybody knows. So the virtual fair is taking place. And as I said, even in FIO, we are going to do this 24/7. And the future is going to be virtual fairs.
Technology is a game changer, but small businesses need a lot of support and a lot of hand-holding on that front. If you can share some
Definitely.
insights and to the industry leaders, if you can share your thoughts exactly as to what can be done so that SMEs can also take advantages of these fast changes.
मैं आपको एक चीज़ बताना चाहता हूँ, जो बाकी टेक्नोलॉजी है वो तो देखिए एमएसएमई इंडस्ट्री है चाहे बड़ी इंडस्ट्री है, सब लोग अडॉप्ट कर रहे हैं. एनीथिंग विच इज यूजफुल वर्चुअल मीटिंग के लिए, सैम्पलिंग के लिए, दिस दैट, एवरीबॉडी इज अडॉप्टिंग स्लोली एंड ग्रेजुअली एंड एवरीथिंग इज ओके. मैं आपको एक इंडस्ट्री की बात बताना चाहता हूँ. अभी शक्तिवेल जी साहब ने भी बोला जैसे कि मेगा टेक्सटाइल पार्क लग रहे हैं और जहां नहीं लगे, आई strongly urge to the government that every textile cluster, textile center must have a mega textile park where the dyeing and processing area should be given a great emphasis. अब देखिए, pollution all over India is a big issue, whether it is air pollution or a water pollution. And in many states, the underground water level is going further down. That means there is no water. In certain areas in Punjab, it has gone into red zone or a black zone also. But the processing industry needs water. Although the farmers are wasting much more water than the industry is using just maybe 5-10%, 90% is being used by domestic and agriculture also. So every textile process, center, the cluster, I would say that mega textile park must have a processing unit, and the pollution control should not be the duty of the industry. It should be planned by the government through private participation by experts to install CETPs, the Central Effluent Treatment Plants, so that the effluent is treated. Industry will just throw out the water, whatever has been allocated to them. It should be cleaned and treated by the private company designated by the government, and then water should be released.
Right,
अब
sir.
जो प्रोसेसिंग इंडस्ट्री का मीनिंग क्या है? एवरी इंडस्ट्री, whether it is woven or knitted, everything has to be dyed. तो डाइंग, वो जो रॉ मटेरियल के बगैर तो कोई टेक्सटाइल प्रोडक्ट बन ही नहीं सकता. दैट मीन्स अ मदर इंडस्ट्री. तो अगर हमारे पास प्रोसेसिंग इंडस्ट्री होगी अच्छी टेक्नोलॉजी की, जिसमें पानी कम लगे, पानी साफ होके रीयूज हो सके, और पानी को जो छोड़ना है हमने उसको रिलीज करना है अल्टीमेटली, दैट शुड बी क्लीन, शुड नॉट गो टू द रिवर्स और कैनाल्स वेयर द वाटर इज बीइंग used for drinking purposes as well.
So final words and maybe your message to small businesses. What advice would you like to give them in the end, sir? Before we say final goodbye to you, sir. Some takeaways from your side, sir.
Yes, there are a lot of challenges being faced by the MSMEs today. One is they have to plan the liquidity properly, and liquidity issue is a big issue now because of the raw material price and other external factors. And they should see I don't know, as my colleague from my co-panelist from Ludhiana was telling, we are more dependent on migrant labor or guest workers, as we call now today in Tamil Nadu. So I think in a long run, whether this model is going to be sustainable is a big challenge. I think the MSME should focus trying to get local labor as much as possible and use the migrant labor only when it is absolutely necessary, and because they can also reduce cost aspects through that process, and they should focus in modern production technologies like lean manufacturing, other aspects to reduce the costs, and also try to focus on reducing the overheads, because cost competitiveness is becoming a big challenge in the MSMEs, and especially in the apparel industry, where we face a big challenge from countries like Bangladesh. See, today the raw material cost is very high, and when we tell the spinners to reduce the cost, the only answer we get from the spinner is that we are exporting at the same price to Bangladesh. How come they're able to supply it at a cheaper price? Because the ecosystem in Bangladesh is much better than what we have here. One is the production efficiency is much better, which reduces conversion cost, and also there are other aspects like processing and other industries. It is
Right, sir.
cost at lesser price. So the competitiveness is one keyword which MSMEs should focus.
Lakra Saab, what have been the learnings from pandemic, and what would you like to tell the SMEs in brief? We have very limited time, sir.
सबसे important learning ये है कि earlier, we used to get credit and sell on credit, whether it is export or domestic. Now, after pandemic, it has been seen that as the prices are also gone up, and everything is on cash basis. अब यान वाले कहते हैं जी पेमेंट दो तो यान आएगा, डाइंग वाले जो 3 महीने में पेमेंट लेते थे वो कहते हैं जी 15 दिन में पेमेंट दोगे तो हम डाइंग करेंगे. Labor is cash, electricity is cash, ESI, PF, and all the inputs are almost cash now. So now एक learning ये हुई है कि we are not to sell on credit at all now. If we have to survive and grow further, तो हमें अगर कैश परचेजेस कर रहे हैं तो हमें बेचना भी कैश पे है. और इसके लिए मैं गवर्नमेंट को एक रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं फॉर द सिक्योरिटी एंड सेफ्टी ऑफ MSME. ऑल्दो देयर आर लॉज, वो एक माइक्रो एंड स्मॉल के लिए बना है, मीडियम के लिए नहीं है, कि ऑल बिग कॉर्पोरेट बायर्स और बिग एक्सपोर्ट हाउसेज हु आर बाइंग फ्रॉम MSME, they should be directed through some law that they must pay to the industry, MSME industry, in time, so that they are able to survive and they are able to grow further to create more employment and more revenue for the government and export revenue.
Sir, we would like you to give your advice to SMEs, and also we would like to ask you what is the status of vaccination, sir, of the workforce in the industry, since this is extremely crucial in this entire fight against COVID, sir.
First, I talk about the vaccination. Now, the Tamil Nadu government has started this vaccination for the workers. Honorable Chief Minister came down to Tirupur and started the vaccination. Now, there are a lot of other organizations has come forward. So we pay the charges for the vaccination, and we started doing it. Now, Tirupur, I heard about nearly 50,000 people have got, our laborers got vaccinated. Same way, all over India also started vaccine, because we all understand vaccination is the only solution to keep our workers healthy and also to keep the business moving. Coming to my points for the final points, we have talked about the issues and what are the facilities, but I'm very confident that I always believe that MSME exporters of India are like a phoenix. They just come out with any problem, they come out, because that's why the still export is on and on. Now we have let me talk positively. Now we have a RSTCL, so please utilize that. Then we have the mega textile parks, please utilize that. We have a amended technology upgradation fund, please utilize that. Then we have the market access initiative from the Commerce Ministry, MAA scheme. Then interest equalization scheme, that is up to September is there. Honorable Minister Mr. Piyush Goyal has said he will extend it further. Already he has recommended to the cabinet. Then we have a special advance authorization scheme. We have a export promotional capital goods scheme, export performance certificate scheme for duty-free import of lining and interlining, that EGLGS, Emerging Credit Line Guarantee Scheme. So these all the schemes are there. Let us utilize all this scheme because, as I said, PLI is going to be the future for India, and I could feel that market sentiment now after this Corona crisis. Not only the buyers, the customers having a sentiment feeling towards India. They want to buy the Indian product. So let us utilize this sentiment by the customers and by the people of the world. So we will make our exports grow and grow. And our target is given by the Commerce Ministry is about 20 billion. So hope we will achieve this. We'll work hard for it. And I wish all the MSME exporters, please utilize this opportunity, be positive, definitely you will reach the goal. Another thing I just want to appreciate G Business. I am participating regularly for last 6-7 years, and we are the only channel who encourage MSME sector and conduct this kind of seminars, and also you encourage them by giving the award. So because whatever the award is there, it makes people to come forward. So I really appreciate and thank G Business for giving this opportunity and also creating this awareness for the MSME sector. Thank you very much.
इस खास पेशकश में फिलहाल इतना ही. डॉक्टर शक्तिवल, थैंक यू. मिस्टर एलन गोवन, थैंक्स. लाकड़ा साहब, आपका भी शुक्रिया. We would once again like to thank our partners for this series. Presenting sponsor Amazon, crypto exchange partner BitBNS, domain partner GoDaddy, laptop partner Dell, driving partner Skoda, co-powered by FarmEasy, special partner Timology. Thanks to all of you. और आखिर में हम एल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन की एक बात आपके सामने रखना चाहेंगे. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. जी हाँ, परेशानियों के दौर में अवसर के धागे भी मौजूद रहते हैं. तो क्यों ना नए मौकों के लिए एमएसएमईज कदम बढ़ाएं और उनका अगला कदम पिछले से बेहतर हो. अभी के लिए बस इतना ही. नमस्कार.